Take Back the Night is by far my favorite event, and it's mostly because it's like-minded individuals, people who actually care, some people could actually relate, and I feel a little better about that. I don't feel as ashamed and nervous.
Say it once! Say it once! Say it again! Say it again! No excuse for violent men! No excuse for violent men! And women!
Tonight we're going to explore something that starts out as not really being spiritual, but can make you very spiritual if you experience it. We're talking about spirituality after domestic violence. I feel very lucky to have never experienced such a thing, but there are many of us who have. My heart goes out to those who have, and that is why I have invited Bianca, Dimitri, and Courtney Mitchell to come and talk to me about domestic violence tonight. These young ladies here have unfortunately experienced domestic violence, and on May 4th I had the Sunday Advance, and there was an article in the paper, and the article has a picture of Bianca on the front page of the Sunday Advance on May 4th, and it's called The Silent Secret of Domestic Violence. And it is a silent secret in a lot of ways, because I think a lot of people won't really admit that they have experienced such a thing. Maybe it might be a little embarrassing. Maybe they feel, maybe their partner, you know, would give them an even more difficult time over it. You know. So first of all, Bianca, tell us, well, what made you go to the Advance? How did this article come about?
Well, about 2 years ago, I had the experience. I was with someone for 2 years, and he attacked me, and I pressed charges. I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do, and I just started getting really depressed and having a really hard time. I found that my family wasn't supportive, and my friends weren't supportive either, and so I started praying, and I started going to therapy, and in my prayer, you know, I prayed a lot, and in my prayers, I kept asking God, you know, why did this happen to me? I had a really hard life as it is. You know, what did I do to deserve this? And then one day it kind of came to me that the reason maybe this happened was because I'm strong enough to deal with it, and I have to do something about it. And so then I decided I'm going to start a group, a support group type thing. And I started it, and no one came, and it was a total disaster. And I didn't want to give up, so I decided I'd get some more press, and I went to the Staten Advance, and luckily they put it right on the cover, and it's been great response. And that was really my only intention, was just to get people to come to the group and talk and share their stories.
Here we go!
Join together, free our lives.
Join together, free our lives!
We will not be victimized!
We will not be victimized!
Join together, free our lives.
Join together, free our lives!
We will not be victimized.
We will not be victimized!
Join together.
Join together,
Free our lives.
free our lives!
We will not be victimized.
We will not be victimized!
I started a group called Fearless Females. The reason I started it is because I experienced domestic violence, and until it happened to me, I didn't even know what domestic violence was. So I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about my story. About 2 years ago, I was going to college of Staten Island, pursuing an English degree, and I met a boy in my class named Joe, and he was really good looking, and he was really nice and very gentle and very polite. And we dated, and it was a lot like, you know, teenagers in love. We were together every single day. We couldn't get enough of each other. I really felt like this was someone for me, and so we finally moved in. He moved to my apartment. I was really happy to have him there because I've always been alone. I've been living on my own since I was 18, so I was really happy to have the company. But I noticed some changes after a couple of months of our relationship, where he would isolate me from my friends, tell me what to wear, make me call him. He would come to my bar where I'd work as a bartender, and he would sit there and monitor me. And I noticed that these changes were getting worse, but I didn't know that these were signs because I don't know what domestic violence is. And you know, I never even thought that could apply to me because I'm young, I'm in college. I thought it was more, you know, something for married women or middle-aged, but now I know. One day I was working at a new job because he made me quit my old job, and he called me up and he asked me to come pick up him and his friend. at a bar in the village. So I picked up him and his friend, and we were driving. And his friend would call me names like sweetie and honey, and that's just the way he spoke to women. And as he was giving me directions, I noticed that my boyfriend was getting flustered and he looked kind of upset. So I kept turning to him and saying, you know, is everything okay? Why do you look so angry? And he said, just drive the car, don't worry about it. So I was driving the car, and then when I finally let his friend out, I turned to him and I said, you know, was something wrong? Like, what happened? So at that point, he started to get angry, and keep in mind that he's never hit me, he's never pulled my hair, he's never done anything violent before. He said, just drive the car home and we'll talk about it when we get home. So when we drove up a little more, I stopped by the police station, I pulled over, and I said, listen, you know, you look really angry, is everything okay? And he said, if you don't drive the car, you know, there's going to be a problem, just drive the car. And I said, listen, I really want to go home, you know, can you please just get out, your car is right there. And that's when he grabbed me by the back of my head and he said, you want to embarrass me, you want to humiliate me and flirt with my friends, you know, I'll teach you a lesson. So I didn't have time to react at this point. He grabbed me by the back of my head and he punched me in the face, right in my nose. And it was really weird. I didn't expect it. It wasn't even like we argued, it wasn't like anything even happened. And my nose, I thought, was broken. Blood was pouring out. It was, you know, saturating my jeans. It was just wouldn't stop coming out. So I panicked and I said, you know, please get out of the car. You know, I have to go to the hospital. I think you broke my nose. I don't know why you did this. What is wrong with you? What's happening? And he said, you're not getting out of this car alive. Drive the car or it's going to get worse. So I took the keys out of the car. I went to get out so I could go into the police station, and he dragged me back in. And that's when he proceeded to beat me over and over, and he punched me in the nose until it wouldn't even crack anymore. It just kept cracking and cracking. And he took my head and he smashed it against the window a bunch of times. And there was blood basically everywhere, all over my car, all over the seats. I was covered in blood, and it didn't even hurt. It was, you know, I was numb from all the hitting. And I said to myself, if you don't get out of the car, there's a good possibility that you're gonna die here. So as he was hitting me, I got out of the coverage, I crawled over his lap, I got out, he chased me, I ran into the police station, and I was covered in blood, and they said, you know, were you in an accident? And I said, no. I said, my boyfriend did this to me, go get him.
The culprit will have the other person believing that they deserve what they're getting, that they deserve, they did something to bring it on themselves, and that is not the case. Very often is not the case. It's because somebody, one person has to have control over another person. That's what it all boils down to.
The psychology of it is just so deep. I mean, there's so much you just can't even understand unless you've been in that situation. I mean, the way you feel about yourself, the way you blame yourself, because you start to think, maybe I did something. You know, I don't think they did this to anybody else. Was it something I did? How could I choose somebody like this?
You start second guessing yourself.
It's not like I stayed around, but I think to myself, do I choose people that are, you know, this kind of, how did I not see that? And I came down to myself and I got extremely depressed, and you know, it's really difficult.
He would send me flowers and poems and letters. He said it was a freak accident, it would never happen again. I was the first, I was the last. He loves me too much, and that's what he kept saying. I love you, I just love you so much, I lost my mind, I'm so jealous, I just want you to myself, and I know I was wrong, I would never do that, you know, I was drinking, it was an accident. So I wanted so bad to believe this, you know, I really did. I wanted it to be like it was, I wanted to be in love again. And not to mention I felt damaged. And I said to myself, who's gonna want me now? I'm damaged goods, you know, I can't even be normal, I can't stop thinking about this, I'm so depressed. I feel like I'm not even human, I feel like a shell of a person that's like living life outside of myself.